And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, that's right. I'm a lifer for life. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm a lifer.
What up, what up? Welcome to Coding Life as podcast.
Yep.
And of course, with the mics.
See the mics.
So, today we have a special guest with us on our Techmovers segment. So Patrick.
Thank you, Mike's, for inviting me to this podcast. It's a pleasure to come and talk more on tech. My name is Patrick Muriithi. I'm a CTO at Pesira. I'm building a startup where we are providing an ecosystem for agri-techs. We are bringing donors, agribusinesses, and farmers to one like an ecosystem, and then providing value to farmers. For example, we are providing a subsidized farm inputs, farm machinery, and seeds to farmers that are subsidized by donors. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So yeah,
You're,
yeah.
not, you're really a tech mover.
Hey man, you see, like when we're looking for someone to be a tech mover
Yeah.
in this specific segment,
Yeah,
we normally get people who are making impact.
for sure.
Right now, because we're in the current state of the country is about food security. That's
Yeah.
one of the segments of food security of the government,
Yeah, for sure.
and you are now in automation side of it.
Yeah,
Some good stuff.
yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have come the right moment.
Yeah.
The right moment.
Thank
So we're
you.
going to pull you back.
Yeah.
Now, who is Patrick?
Yeah.
Where were you born? Maybe we normally start there because we need to know. We try and show people that if you can do it, someone out there can do it. 'Cause
For sure.
Yeah. So where are you from, Patrick?
Patrick is a village boy who became a software engineer. Born and raised in a small village called Jogwine. Jogwine, it's a Kikuyu word that means elephant. I'm from a popular county called Nyeri, from where our former president is from, Kibaki. Yeah, born and raised. I went to our local school, primary school, called Jogwine Primary School.
Oh, the name and the
The name and the village.
Oh,
Yeah. Later on, I went to a high school called Karema Boys, still in Nyeri County. After that, I went to an university called Mary University, where I did my undergraduate. And later on, I went to Strathmore, where I did my master's in computer science. I also did cybersecurity in Brno University, that is in Czech Republic in Europe. Yeah.
Now,
You have gone fast. You have gone fast. You know.
It's sorry.
This,
Pull up.
this question you normally ask guys like,
Yeah.
how did it come to be like for you to be a software engineer?
where did you first hear about engineering?
Your first spark. Where did you get it from?
It happened by chance that my elder brother is also a techie. Right now, he's a CEO of a company called Megashift Technologies. And my brother did computer science. And as it is our nature to look up to, our elder brothers, people who we admire. So my brother did computer science, and I saw he was successful, and and nobody hates something that is successful. And I chose computer science actually because my brother was doing computer science. I won't lie. that's plain truth.
You have someone who at least showed you
Yes,
what it means.
he showed me the way, and he told me computer science is where you make difference, you make impact to the society through providing solution to problems that are real world problems. Yeah.
So that's in. When did you first realize? Because there's that realization part, maybe in high school, at least you started to like now maybe pay attention to Peter, your brother. When did that transition happen? Because I know him, maybe because he's older, a bit older than
Yeah.
me. So I think it was in high school. I think he was
Yes,
in
for sure.
university. So I think that's the time. But is that the time that you realize that whatever Peter is doing, I really want to do that too?
Yes. In primary school, I used to to dream of becoming a surgeon. And then when I joined high school, my brother joined university taking computer science. And then things took a quick turn. And now I start admiring what he was doing. Because I remember the things he was talking about, laptop was a new thing to me. I've never seen a laptop before. And he now comes for holidays. He have laptops where we could play games, and all that, and see him doing stuff. I think from there, I started wanting to know even what computer studies is in high school. I was not taking that unit, or I don't know if it's course or unit in high school, subject rather. But I would want to know what those guys are doing in those computer labs, because we had those sessions for computer labs. So I generated an interest to computers because of my brother. Yeah.
So does the dream of becoming a surgeon still there?
I
You look
I
like
don't
a
know.
surgeon. You look like Patrick the surgeon.
I used to do stuff like I remember one time I was in standard standard 8. I think it's grade 8 nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah.
And my aunt's cheek died, and I operated on it. Like it's dead, but I just want to see
That's
Why?
to imitate what surgeons do. Like I cut it, you know, just to see the dissected see stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really admired what doctors are and what they do. Actually, from a movie from one great surgeon, I don't remember the movie, but Doctor Who. No, I can't
Doctor
remember.
Strange.
I don't remember that guy, but
Strange is not-
but yeah, I used to admire what doctors do, like healing people and all that. But as you grow, interest change. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Now you here you are. Now
Yeah.
you at least you have an interest in what your brother is doing.
Yeah.
And now it has even displaced your current interest of you being a doctor.
yeah,
Now here you are. You've just entered into the university.
yeah,
Now you've started now. You've now interacted firsthand. Not really, because I know it takes a bit of time before now you get deep into coding.
yeah, for
Takes a
sure.
while. But at least even in introduction, at least you know a bit. Maybe at least you know what HTML is. Yeah, you know. I know for you. I know for you. The way I know you, you started coding, man, when in your early university.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So how did it feel? How did it feel when you started now coding and now having that feeling that was passed down from your brother?
It's a different story actually, because I remember in my first year, I used to say that I want to go to the networking side. There is majors in computer science where you can choose networking and software engineering, and most of the time, people who choose, I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes in campus, you choose what you feel like it is easier. It's easier. So my first year, because you still, in that mood, campus mode, entertainment and all that, I didn't do much of software engineering until I went to attachment in a company called Craft Silicon.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So in class in my second year, I went to its attachment, where now I came to interact with the real world softwares where I'm required now to code HTML, to create those forms, CSS and all that. And now it kicked in that actually this thing is interesting, and it's awesome to to solve problems using this kind of skill. So I I I borrowed my brother's skills. He was using a framework. By then, he was using a framework called E2, using PHP. And I guess I learned that framework very fast. And in my class, I think we had only two guys who were doing like real coding. I remember when we were put in groups, I was the one like leading the group in developing those systems using the famous C2, the famous framework PHP code E2. Yeah.
It's an interesting. I usually say this when we are doing this podcast. E2, you see the way you introduce there's a gateway drug.
Yeah.
Marijuana is a gateway drug to other hard drugs. Like in programming, if you start with E2, it will give you. Yes, it's easy to learn, so it gives you that. It opens your eyes and gives you that base for you to even pick up other things. It becomes easier.
Yeah, for sure.
E2. Yeah, I usually say that because I even tell this guy, but now this guy started with I don't know, React. Now he knows a bit of U2 because we work also with U2.
Yeah, but coming from the perspective of PHP, I think most of the guys from campus who take PHP, it gives them a platform where they can maneuver into programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Compared
now,
to JavaScript.
yes.
It's a bit interesting to work with. You build web apps, and you can make some easy money there because you see with E2 you can build a simple website in a
For
very
sure.
short span.
Although I would like to differ in terms of if I was to advise a first year or second year, let's take an example of a first year, he want to start coding. I would want him to start with HTML, understand how it works, go to CSS, and then JS, because that's the foundation of front-end development. Because once I usually give an analogy of a vehicle. A vehicle, the chassis or the body, or the chassis and the gears and the pedals, the clutch and all that, it's the front end. Like that's what you interact with to reach to the engine. If you want to accelerate, you will press the accelerator, and then it sends the request to the engine. Then engine will respond with speed. So I usually want a beginner to first be able to understand or to code what he can see. First, what he can see. We will talk more about that approach later, I think. Yeah.
Just to do a flashback. As I was doing my research, when you were in campus, there's this show you started. Tell us, it was called I think PK show.
PK Live. Yeah.
PK Live.
PK Live. Tell
Wow.
us a bit about PK
Wow.
Live.
Memories. So, in my third year, I wanted to start a business. I wanted to start shipping me tubers from.
Guys, we are going to come back. This is a short break. We are going to take a short break, and after we come back, our famous Patrick will share us about the VTuber story.
Yeah, for sure.
My name is Patrick Muriithi. I'm the CTO at Pesira Global. Pesira Global, we provide an ecosystem for agri-tech where we bring donors, agri-businesses, agri-dealers, and farmers into one platform, providing value to farmers. I advise all engineers, seniors, juniors, intermediates to come to Coding Lifers. Subscribe, listen in, enjoy the podcast.
And welcome back, guys. This is Techmovers
With PK.
with PK, and we are going to continue the story where he was in Mary University,
The Mutumba guy.
the Mutumba guy, the Mutumba
The big
business.
Mutumba dream guy.
Yeah. Tell us about
Tell us
it.
about it.
Yeah. So it's after the long holiday, after my second year, then long holiday. Now we are coming back for my third year. So I had a business idea where I wanted to ship Mitubas from Nairobi and bring them to Meru, Meru University and start selling.
How did you
Okay.
identify the market once
So the market was ripe.
it was there?
The gap was there. The market gap was there, and it had ready customers. But that changed. I had the money ready. I had everything ready. But one thing was happening in our school. It was an election period where we university we elect leaders. President, school president, school representative, secretary general, and all that. And an idea hit me, and if we come up with a show where we can organize for presidential debates.
You're very innovative.
I'm an ambitious guy.
That's what you're going to give you.
That one for sure.
So it all started by I organized a show. Where I hosted a SAMU. Okay, the organization was called SAMU, where I interviewed an aspirant, presidential aspirant. Although I was not a journalist or something near to to a journalist, what I did is that I looked for young ladies who had who had mastered the Queen's language and all that. Then I invited her and requested or shared the idea that I have this platform. I need you to interview someone. And because I had connection to the to the aspirants, like we had no issues. We hosted our first show, and we called it PK Live. Okay, we called PK Live. The show went viral.
Yeah, the first video.
The show went viral, like for real. So guys knew PK Live. They didn't know who was PK, like the guy behind.
Behind the dream.
Like the show was just popular and all that. And yes,
Is still the idea of Ikomba is still there? Or
no,
this
it
time-
died. It died.
died?
Yes, it died on arrival. Reason being, I didn't had there was no future with the business. The gap was there, but there was no future because I didn't have any aspiration to do like that business. It was just a way of getting money, quick money. Okay, so it didn't go as far as as a dream. Yeah,
So at this time you're doing PK Live.
yeah.
Do you are you still aspiring to do tech? Because I think when you do when you lean on PK Live, it's kind of you're entering the world of media practitioner.
At that time, I was already doing tech. I had come from the attachment that I told you, like Cloud Silicon. Yeah. So my school work was going well. Group works, coding. At the time, had mastered E2. Like I could create a whole application using PHP. So tech things was going. I was actually a tech leader in innovation. Those groups, innovation club. We had a club. We had an innovation center in our school that was, Equity boss. Mwangi.
Mwangi.
He gave our school a whole innovation center.
Nice.
And we had a innovation club, innovation club where I was the technical lead. Okay, so I was still doing my stuff as a technical lead, but I still had business acumen in me, trying things out. Yeah.
And maybe to deviate a bit now from tech, because it's election period
Yes.
in the university.
Yes.
And by the way I know you,
Yeah.
you have leadership characters.
Yeah.
Why did you not vie for any leadership setup in Mary University?
I was.
Or did
I
it not
was.
cross your mind, or it just
I didn't have. You see. It didn't cross my mind. I'm not a politician, because those kind of things are more of politics than leadership. It's politics, pure politics.
campaigns, all
Yeah,
that?
tribes and all that. Yeah,
I get.
yeah,
So before we move on from Mary University,
yeah.
I know of every time you're doing in your campus at the end of the year, you must do a project.
Yes.
Tell us about your project. I think it plays a very big role in a software engineer's journey.
Yeah, for sure. So my project was a train booking, a train reservation system. All right, where it had a portal where you could log in and book. It had its backend, and it has its database. Yes, yes.
Nice.
Like right now, that system could have been used in booking SGR. Yes, yes.
So by that time, we had no system that was being done at the train station.
Yeah, I don't think
We didn't have.
yeah.
I'm not sure if SGR was already launched. I'm not sure.
No, it was not.
Yeah,
It
'cause
had
it's-
been launched. We had the old railway.
Yeah,
stations.
yeah, yeah.
So in this project, you started from scratch and built up.
Yeah, from scratch. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, now you've gone through university.
Yeah.
Now you are a beginner engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do your stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you're done. You've graduated. Now it's time for you now to come to the actual market and for you to experience what it feels like.
Yeah.
Because out here the heat is real. For you now to get a job. Now, what happened now for you after university?
I remember there was a popular company called Eclectics International. I remember one day I walked in to that company. I sat on a reception, and then luckily HR came out and asked me what I wanted. I told him that I wanted an internship. He didn't hesitate, God's plan. I was given an interview where I was required to just create a simple CRUD application, create what, and my prowess was good.
So in this time, you don't know what GitHub is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think by then I'm just an intern. Actually, I didn't know any version control at the time, where I just entered the Eclectics as an intern. I was given a project. It was an agency banking, so I was given a code base, just a transfer. I think a flash transfer. I think it was an SSH access, where I could just pick the code base. So actually, it was not from a version control. Okay, so at the time, I'm yet to experience what is a version control.
Nice. So what were you using? Because from what I know, most of the guys used Flash to copy files
Yeah, we had a guest.
from one computer to the other. So how did you maneuver it? Like when you were working on a project that needed that you were in a team, maybe. Yeah. How did you maneuver it?
So the first time I came now to play on a team where we were required now to have version control, the first version control I used was Subversion. It's called SVN. SVN. It works similar to Git, but I think it's much older than Git. Yeah, it's not as better
than Git. Yeah.
Now you are in eclectics.
Yeah.
I know you are a fintech guy. From
Yeah.
my research, I
Yeah.
saw you're enthusiastic about fintech world,
For sure.
and even when you're traveling.
Yeah.
I remember there's this part you went to Europe and you are. I don't know. It was a research you are doing about the Mastercard. and
Yes.
M-Pesa.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about how your enthusiast came to be of
How you-
fintech.
Yeah.
Fintech is a very interesting industry and a revolutionary one because it has brought many changes in the way of life, like the access to finance, access to financial services. You don't have to go to to a bank to get a deposit, to do a deposit or a withdrawal, or to send money to a partner. You just need your wallet, your M-Pesa wallet, if you're using M-Pesa, or your mobile banking. So fintech, it's changing the way of life and making impact to common mwananchi. Right? For example, M-Pesa, which is one of a kind, in the whole world. I don't think there is a country that has embraced what we call mobile money in the world, like Kenya. People in the village are able to receive, in the deepest of village, in Jogwini, in Turukana, they are able to receive money from their sons and daughters in Nairobi or in London using M-Pesa or using other application wallets. So when I went to Eclectics, which is very popular in fintech industry, I worked with over 40 banks providing different services. For example, agency banking. I did agency banking for over 24 banks in Uganda, where we're providing a shared platform for all banks in Uganda in collaboration with Central Bank Uganda.
At this time, you're in an intern or
No. So,
okay.
all right, let me take you back. I'm an intern. I've been given a project. I've impressed my manager. He decides that this guy, let's take him. We have a vacancy in Uganda team. Let's take him there. Let him go and manage the E2 there. The portal over there are made using E2. Let him go there. So that is the first time now, after now being given a full-time job as a junior engineer, promotion from intern to a junior engineer, and then sent to Uganda. That was my first time to board an airplane.
Nice.
Yeah,
It must be nice.
How was the experience?
Being a
it
junior
was
then.
dope. It
Yeah.
was dope.
Being a junior
Because
there.
my first flight, I boarded same.
So in this time, you don't know what GitHub is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think by then, I'm just an intern. Actually, I didn't know any version control at the time, where I just entered the Eclectics as an intern. I was given a project. It was an agency banking, so I was given a code base, just a transfer. I think a flash transfer. Or I think it was an SSH access, where I could just pick the code base. So actually, it was not from a version control. Okay,
The server
so
direct.
so at the time, I'm yet to experience what is a version control.
Nice. So what were you using? Because from what I know, most of the guys used Flash to copy files
Yeah, we had a guest.
from one computer to the other. So how did you maneuver it? Like when you are working on a project that needed that you were in a team maybe. Yeah. How did you maneuver it?
So the first time I came now to play on a team where we were required now to have version control, the first version control I used was Subversion. It's called SVN.
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 It works similar to Git, but I think it's much older than
Manual.
Git. Yeah, yeah, it's not as better than Git. Yeah,
Now you are in eclectics.
Yeah.
I know you are a fintech guy. From
Yeah.
my research, I
Yeah.
saw you're enthusiastic about fintech world,
for sure.
and even when you're traveling.
Yeah,
I remember there's this part you went to Europe and you are. I don't know. It was a research you are doing about the Mastercard. and
yes,
M-Pesa.
yes.
Yeah, tell us about how your enthusiast came to be of
How you-
fintech.
Yeah.
Fintech is a very interesting industry and a revolutionary one because it has brought many changes in the way of life, like the access to finance, access to financial services. You don't have to go to to a bank to get a deposit, to do a deposit or a withdrawal, or to send money to a partner. You just need your wallet, your M-Pesa wallet, if you're using M-Pesa, or your mobile banking. So fintech, it's changing the way of life and making impact to common mwananchi. Right? For example, M-Pesa, which is one of a kind, in the whole world. I don't think there is a country that has embraced what we call mobile money in the world, like Kenya. People in the village are able to receive, in the deepest of village, in Jogwini, in Turukana, they are able to receive money from their sons and daughters in Nairobi or in London using M-Pesa or using other application wallets. So when I went to Eclectics, which is very popular in fintech industry, I worked with over 40 banks providing different services. For example, agency banking. I did agency banking for over 24 banks in Uganda, where we're providing a shared platform for all banks in Uganda in collaboration with Central Bank Uganda.
At this time, you're in an intern or
No. So,
okay.
all right, let me take you back. I'm an intern. I've been given a project. I've impressed my manager. He decides that this guy, let's take him. We have a vacancy in Uganda team. Let's take him there. Let him go and manage the E2 there. The portal over there are made using E2. Let him go there. So that is the first time now, after now being given a full-time job as a junior engineer, promotion from intern to a junior engineer, and then sent to Uganda. That was my first time to board an airplane.
Nice.
Yeah,
It must be
How
nice.
was the experience?
Being a
it
junior
was
then.
dope. It was dope. Because my first flight, I boarded same flight with the president, then Deputy President Ruto.
What a
Although
honor.
he was in the first class, yeah, we still had the same air, breathing the same air.
And the same lungs.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's how the Uganda agency banking came to be.
Yeah, it came to be like that. So I meet my team over there. I'm just a junior engineer, but ambitious enough and with hunger to learn, which is very important for a junior engineer or an intern. I met a very good friend of mine, and may God rest him in peace. A very good guy called John Minor. John held my hand, assisted me to understand all the concept of agency banking, how the business logic works like, what I was needed to do, and within a short time, I was able to achieve the goals that I was set to work on. Yeah.
How did it feel working in a different country? Now, you were born in Kenya, you studied in Kenya, your career has been kick-started in Kenya, how does it feel now to work in a different country?
And you've been Patrick, as we know you, as I know you. At this moment, you're a very outgoing guy.
Yeah.
You have been into Europe. You have been to Austria. Tell us.
It was amazing. It was amazing. First, because I remember the first time, you know, in the airport, Uganda Entebbe Airport, when now you know, being interrogated, why have you come here? I said I was an expatriate working with the central bank, and with that they don't even ask you anything. Expatriate working with central bank. Big name.
Hey, that's even. Hey,
And back in my mind, I'm just a junior. And there is an interesting thing that I would tell you. I updated my email footer, what do we call it? The signature. And I said, junior engineer. My lead was furious. No. You don't tell clients that you're just a junior. They will assume you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, that was funny. So I, you know,
software engineer.
just a software engineer.
Expert.
Yeah. No. Just a software engineer. What? Yeah.
Just a nice break. Maybe there are guys out there who are watching us, and they have that they are so ambitious with fintech.
Yeah.
And they want to join fintech, and they are so like as I am here today. I'm in the making of becoming a fintech guy.
Yeah.
So what is that advice that you can tell me? Like,
fintech, it depends. You want to come in fintech from an engineer perspective. First, you need to have the technical prowess, understanding of how the front end works, how the back end works, the deployment, cloud deployment, CI/CD processes, and all that. Then you have to understand the business logic of how banks work, because fintech, most of the time you are interacting with the bank as the ed game. Like for example, if you're making a payment, there is what we call embedded finance, where different application are embedding financial services in their application, like Uber, like Litrocab, like Glovo, all that. They have payment services embedded in their platform. The end goal, most of the time, you're doing entries in a bank or in a certain wallet. If you're paying via M-Pesa, you're debiting your wallet and crediting their account, till number, escrow account or whatever. If it's a bank, you're paying by card. There are several things that are involved in the back end when you pay using Visa. Okay, there is what we call, how Visa is a payment processor, and it's not owned by the banks, right? So there is what we call, there is the acquiring bank, okay, and there is the issuing bank, okay, like where this card is coming from, okay, where the merchant, where you're paying to a certain merchant. A merchant is like the business you're paying the money, right? So that merchant, his account is sitting on a acquiring bank. His account is on the acquiring side, and your account is on an issuing bank. Like issuing is where your account is right now. So a debit, if it's a debit has to be done on your account, then there will involve some settlement processes, so that money that you have paid may reach the merchant, the business owner. So you have to understand the business logics, interacting with if it's carded transactions, you interact with the switch, right? Using ISO format messages. ISO, I think 83 or 8385 or 8583. There are those ISO standards for carded transaction. You have to understand the security behind them. Like for you to input a pin on a POS, how will it get to be verified on the bank side? There is what we call pin blocks. For that pin to live, that API, it will live as a pin block. Okay, so that now it will be translated by the bank, of course, using some keys that are securely stored in a security platform, for example, called HSM. Right. So as an engineer interested in fintech, you have to understand, the technical prowess, being able to handle development and all that, and then business logic. What does it involve when you interact with payment gateway, the one that are fulfilling your transaction and all that. Yes.
And also be ready to, because there's a story I had that there were some guys that messed up. Because if you mess up now in fintech, you are messing up on people's money or the bank's money.
Yeah,
It depends.
actual money.
So you have to be ready for such.
Yes. There are many stories that I've heard of where people just truncate the whole databases. So shit happens sometimes. Yeah. And you have to, as a developer, if something like that happens, you have to alert your teammates as fast as possible, because you at that point you are in a shock. There is a friend of mine who was my technical lead called Kevin Kinyonyi. He used to tell me when I was facing a problem, a tough, and my mind is like out. He told me to sit back, just relax. Sit back, relax, compose yourself, right? Because if you have truncated a production databases, data scheme or something, you're in a big mess. So you have to, do you have a backup? And where now that things like data recovery process comes in, do you have a data recovery center? Do you have backups? Okay, so that now you can just restore as fast, to avoid prolonged uptime.
So right, man, you have a very interesting, vast knowledge in fintech, which is commendable.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we? There's this on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You once post, because now you're a CTO as a. These are startups.
Yes, it's a startup.
And there's a post you posted back then. I don't know, it's a year ago.
Yeah.
You talk about the blue ocean, the red ocean strategy.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it? Like, and how does it affect a startup? And where does a startup stand in the both strategies?
All right. So, blue ocean is more of the opportunities that comes with a startup. A startup is a challenging environment where you have to build, experiment, iterate, fail again, experiment until you get an MVP. MVP is the minimum viable product. And you don't go for perfect. You go for a product that is minimal and viable. Yes, for the market. Yes.
So now, I think now we can go to Pesira, because
Yes.
I know what was there was that name. I'm forgetting the first startup that you had. Yeah. Yeah. So now, how does now Pesira come into play, and how does it?
Pesira is a company founded by two great tech techpreneurs. One madam, a madam is a CEO, and a gentleman who is a CEO is Australian. So they came with Pesira Global, and Pesira Global provide an ecosystem for agriculture, or for it's an agri-tech that brings together donors, agribusinesses, agro-dealers, and farmers, and whereby you're bringing donors, you're giving donors capability to reach to farmers, right? By providing subsidized farm machinery, farm inputs, farm seeds and all that. So my role and responsibility as a CTO is to drive the technology dream of these great people, and to build a technical team, an engineering team geared towards achieving the goals of the company. I'm also still an individual contributor, because a startup doesn't matter who you are, you have to have your feet down. So I am still a backend developer. I usually develop the backend, the infrastructure, manage the infrastructure, and the CI/CD pipelines and all that. Yeah.
Super cool.
So how does it feel? What's the transition? You see now from an engineer to being a CTO man, that's a big deal. In our field, that's a big deal. That transition from the part where we knew who wanted to be a doctor. Now here you are, man.
You're
a
wearing
CTO.
all the hats.
Man.
It's still a dream. It's still a process.
Yeah.
It's still the same ambitious man that want to achieve something and make a difference in the world. And I'm still the same, because when we talk with my teammate, it's not a CTO and a developer. It's a developer and a developer looking for a solution for a problem. Yeah. So I've come from far, yes, and I still feel like there is much to do. Yeah. Mm.
Man, you have a very encouraging story, and at least we are lucky today to tell it to the world.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know our audience, they're gonna be inspired and they're gonna be happy to listen to that.
Yeah.
Now, apart from now being a professional Patrick Muriithi, there's the Patrick side.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're not?
Yeah,
on your
when you're
laptop?
not a techie guy.
When you're not a
What are
techie
you
guy,
doing?
what do you do?
Patrick is as a husband,
Yeah.
is a father, is a brother to 4 big guys, and also a brother to a sister, and a son to a father and a mother. Yeah. I have a wonderful wife, and an awesome son. My son is called Ragnar, from the great Ragnar Lothbrok,
The son of
the greatest man.
yeah.
That's
Yes.
So how about the things you do for fun? What do you do for fun, as Patrick?
I like traveling. I've traveled a few countries. I also like lately I started creating content.
creator.
Yeah.
But I think you have rushed. Tell us, because I'm also an outgoing guy.
Yes.
Where have you, just to name a few,
Mhm.
where have you been up? Like, where have you traveled? Where has tech taken you?
Yeah.
Like,
I have been in I think all the countries in East Africa. I have been in Europe, in Austria. There's a country called Austria, in a city called Vienna. I have been in Czech Republic, in a city called Praha. I've been in Brno, a city called Brno. I have been in Berlin, and also Munich.
we are done. Guys, you should travel.
Yeah. come to tech. There are good things to do in
They
tech.
are good things, man.
So what would you tell someone out there? Someone out there just aspiring to be an engineer,
Yeah.
and they don't know where to start. Just what would you tell them? Just a word of inspiration.
Just to close this, close the remark
Yeah.
to all this, because we have had a lot of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to advise my brothers and sisters out there who want to come into tech, tech industry. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need a degree actually. You just need an open mind, ready to learn, ready to be soaked,
Yeah.
ready to face bugs.
Yeah.
And if you're a beginner out there, start small. Start by learning the fundamentals of software engineering. Start by being curious. For example, in a website, be curious on what involves to making that website. Learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript, learn how to convert static website into a dynamic website. Run what is backend. How do you now connect the backend to the front end? Run REST APIs. Take a language that you want to, use for backend development. It can be Java, it can be Python, it can be even Node.js, right? Even PHP. There are several languages out there. You just need to take one and go deep. For example, if you pick, you want to do front end, I encourage that don't take a framework first. Do the fundamentals of front-end development, which is HTML, which is CSS, which is JavaScript, right? Once you master the three, then you can start looking for frameworks like languages like React, like Node.js, because they are all JS. If you look at them, React.js, AngularJS, Node.js. If it's backend, you have to look at if, for example, you want enterprise application, Java is more best suited for enterprise application. You have to go deep from the start on object-oriented Java fundamentals, learning abstraction, polymorphism, and all that kind of stuff. So fundamentals first before you go to frameworks like Spring Boot. So learn the vanilla, the plain Java. Then after you're comfortable using the plain Java, then you can go to stuff like Spring Boot. Yeah.
Nice.
So you also talked about your content creator.
Yeah.
Where can we find your content?
A person who you mentor people.
Or
Yes, I do mentor people. If you want to be mentored, just reach out to me. I think you'll share my.
we'll share on the
social.
description below.
I have a channel that I'm sharing content, vlogs about tech, about real life experiences. My handle is I am Patrick in YouTube. I think you'll share my.
We'll share on the description below.
So in my channel, I enjoy creating content around tech, fintech, and general. So subscribe.
So make sure you subscribe to Patrick's channel for you to get more. So it's just YouTube. You're not into other socials.
I'm also on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Patrick Muriithi. I usually share content around tech. Like I'm deep into Spring Boot, where I share some snippets, ideas on how to approach certain problems, and also fintech content. Those are the main socials that I have.
So thank you, Patrick, for gracing us. We really appreciate it. At least
Apart from Patrick, his journey is so unique. wanted to just put in one of his quotes. You have to break yourself free out of the experience of true fullest potential.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot in that.
I
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
So go to Lifers. It has been a fun moment sharing with you. Being new Techmover, CTO at Pesira.
Yeah.
I think I've said the
Pesira, yes.
Pesira.
Global.
With that, we come to the end. We hope you have enjoyed it. We hope you subscribe to our content for you to receive more and more Techmovers.
And Patrick, you came back as a guest host.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we need to do more, and we need to bring people for you to even interview them.
And if you think Patrick has left some part of the story, so let us know.
Put it on the comment section, and
we are going to bring him
we'll
back.
follow up. And yeah, so yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Nice time.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right.